2018 Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace Review. The good points of Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. Good practicality. Wide choice of engines. Doesn't resemble a 7-seat car. Nice drive in automobile. Excellent standard kit. The bad points of Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. Cramped third row of seats. Some cheap interior plastics. Noisy diesel engines. Pricey in comparison to the Skoda Kodiaq. Volkswagen has generated on the success from the 5-seat Tiguan with this particular larger, 7-seat brother the Tiguan Allspace. In doing so, the German brand has moved into the 7-seat SUV market, rivaling established contenders like the Hyundai Santa Fe, Nissan Strail and Skoda Kodiaq. Compared on the 5-seat Tiguan, the Allspace receives a 109 mm stretch relating to the front and rear axle lines, and it is longer overall by 215 mm. This means there's room for the next pair of seats within the extended boot. The headlines are how the luggage area is expanded to 700 liters while using front 2 rows of seats set up, expanding nearly 1,775 liters together with the final 2 rows folded down. The standard Tiguan offers 615 and 1,655 liters respectively. There's also 60 mm more legroom for passengers behind leading seats, so even during 5-seater mode the Allspace can be a roomier vehicle compared to the standard Tiguan. Extra bulk has become successfully disguised. The Tiguan Allspace could possibly be bigger, however it doesn't look it. Even the entry-level version rides on 17-inch wheels. Plus some clever styling tricks seemed to be employed. So, it possesses a different bonnet line, side window shapes and also a new number of headlamps. You also can specify it in Fox off-road form. The Tiguan Allspace outdoor pack gets you chunky restyled bumpers, and other protection about the underside with the car. Given that it's provided by optional all-wheel drive, it'll at least copy those hunky looks by genuine ability. And actually, VW is predicting the reason is 4Motion 4-wheel drive system will feature on what's projected being the most widely used model each. 0-liter TDI 150 horsepower SAE-NAV 6-speed manual. A wide selection of engines and tech. The Tiguan Allspace can be obtained with 2 TSI petrol and 3 TDI diesel engines, between 150 horsepower to 240 horsepower. The 2 petrol engines are turbocharged, and can be found in 150 and 180 horsepower forms, whilst the 3 turbodiesels develop 150, 190 and 240 horsepower. All are Euro 6 compliant, together with the diesels needing AdBlue. Model designations start at the higher level compared to 5-seat Tiguan and include things like SAE-NAV, SEL as well as the sporty Reline trim, which joined kids in April 2018. Regardless of trim, each Tiguan Allspace includes 3-zone climate control, adaptive cruise control, sat-nav and Apple CarPlay Android Auto compatibility. Standard safety equipment includes automatic post-collision braking system, car holds brakes on after a collision, lane assist, front assist with city emergency braking function, pedestrian monitoring. What's the VW Tiguan Allspace like to operate the vehicle? We've stood a chance to sample 2 2.0-liter TDI diesels until now, one with 150 horsepower plus the other with twin turbochargers, making 240 horsepower. VW is expecting roughly 95% of Allspaces to get diesel. The former diesel engine, coupled using the manual gearbox, is set being the best-selling inside UK. It's a fine unit but one that can do with being a reduced amount of noisy. We couldn't really tell in refinement between this engine within the Skoda Kodiaq and Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace, in spite of the substantial price difference involving the two. We enjoyed the 240 horsepower diesel, which feels far punchier they are driving, as you'd expect with so much extra performance. It's a much bigger expensive versus the base 150 horsepower engine. However, in support of available on top spec trims as well. How in regards to the handling? There's why not a very slight difference within the allspace is handling the additional distance between front and back axles means it feels more solid and composed, particularly if negotiating mid-corner bumps. We've tried models with and without adaptive suspension fitted, and note that this latter handles sharp ruts and potholes from the road with greater composure. Good practicality, however, not as spacious since the Kodiaq. The extra length has had about greater boot space and a couple extra seats from the Tiguan allspace, however it's still too little to compete while using cheaper Skoda Kodiaq in which the Volkswagen is heavily associated with. For example, one more row of seats isn't quite as spacious within the Tiguan allspace. They're wholly unsuitable for any individual over 5'2", as well as the luggage capacity effortlessly 7 seats in position also falls behind. Latest deals from Buiacar. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace 2.0T, £32,995, or £512 each month. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace 2.0T, £33,500, or £473 each month. See all deals on Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. Representative example. Representative APR of 7.9%, borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP type finance. Just how much payable will be £250 monthly, having a total cost of credit of £1,483 plus a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Buiacar Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London. WC1E7DPGBL915105. It is often a credit broker regulated by FCAFRN:667368. The verdict. For those trying to find a mid-sized 7-seat SUV, the Tiguan Allspace is definitely an interesting proposition. Its looks belie its additional practicality, plus many ways. It is just a great selection for those who require a 7-seater that doesn't appear like an 7-seater. However, its biggest problem originates from in-house. The Skoda Kodiaq is a lot more practical and significantly cheaper, yet isn't noticeably inferior to operate a vehicle, nor would it feel cheaply made. If you like the Tiguan but need a little more space, the Allspace is undoubtedly an accomplished car. However, the Kodiaq remains the best 7-seater with this class. 2 petrol engines and 3 diesels. No hybrids or pure electric models. Choice of manual or DSG automatic gearbox. The Volkswagen Tiguan's engine range includes 2 petrols and 3 diesels, provided by a number of manual or DSG automatic gearboxes and 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace petrol engines. The base 1.4-liter TSI petrol engine inside the Tiguan Allspace produces 150 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque, giving a 0.62 miles per hour use of 9.5 seconds and top speed of 124 miles per hour, 123 miles per hour in DSG auto form. If you fancy a bit more punch on the expense of fuel economy, the 2.0-liter TSI engine creates a chunky 180 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. Enough for any 0.62 miles per hour use of 8.2 seconds as well as a top speed of 129 miles per hour. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace diesel engines. Blending excellent fuel economy along with a reasonable turn of speed. The base 2.0-liter TDI diesel engine boasts 150 horsepower and 340 Nm of torque. That means it's good for just a 0.62 miles per hour use of 9.8 seconds along with a top speed of 126 miles per hour, 124 miles per hour with DSG Auto. Most Tiguan Allspace drivers may go for this engine and it's not difficult to see why. There's little difference in tangible world pace in comparison to the pokier 190 horsepower diesel engine, as you move the healthy numbers of torque being offered are well fitted to a large SUV. The 190 horsepower 2.0-liter diesel engine produces 400 Nm of torque and accelerates from 0.62 miles per hour in 8.6 seconds. Top speed is 130 miles per hour. Finally, When you're following most powerful Tiguan Allspace that you can buy, the 240 horsepower 2.0-liter by TDI engine provides hot hatch numbers of performance from Volkswagen's big SUV. The sprint from 0-62 miles per hour takes just 6.7 seconds, while top speed is 142 miles per hour. Torque is rated in a substantial 500 Nm. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace gearbox options. Customers use a choice from a 6-speed manual gearbox as well as a 7-speed DSG automatic inside the Tiguan Allspace. The former is sweet to use and possesses a relatively short, slick action, making it easy to change throughout the gears. Meanwhile, the DSG automatic is smooth but sometimes be hesitant, particularly if pulling away sharply coming from a standstill. Moving the apparatus selector into sport helps alleviate this, but they can harm fuel economy. Safe and predictable handling. Surprisingly maneuverable. Capable tow car. As you'd expect, all Tiguan Allspaces handle inside a broadly similar manner on the regular Tiguan. That means high degrees of grip and predictably when cornering, but little from the way of excitement. All 4-motion all-wheel drive models come as standard with Volkswagen's driver profile selection, allowing the consumer to cycle through 4 different drive modes: Eco, Comfort, Normal and Sport. Each individual mode tweaks throttle response, steering weight, gearbox settings and, on cars fitted with dynamic chassis control DCC, how firm the suspension is. Reline models have sports suspension, firmer and lowered by 15 mm as standard, but we've yet to test these versions within the UK. Safe and stable, with plenty grip. Driven in a normal pace, the Tiguan Allspace inspires a lot of confidence, providing bags of grip and traction with surprising degrees of maneuverability for this sort of big car. We'd advise against getting too captivated, concerning all its grip and stability. There's still noticeable levels of body roll if your body from the car leans out on the corner in case you push your vehicle hard through bends. Turning to a tight bend yields excellent positivity through the steering wheel, even if amounts of overall feedback miss. The steering also feels too light at speed, an issue that can be remedied with all the sport mode from the driver profile selection. Excellent urban credentials. Taking a 7-seat SUV into the city is sufficient to give many drivers sweaty palms. The Tiguan Allspace hides its size well. Its turning circle and general numbers of agility are stored on par with smaller cars, plus all-round visibility is surprisingly strong. Because of the parking, the Tiguan Allspace in tight spots is comparatively easy with standard fit-around parking sensors also offering you that extra dose of guidance. Is it high-quality off-road? We've not driven the Tiguan Allspace within the rough stuff yet, but previous experience using the regular Tiguan suggests its bigger cousin is likewise more than able to climbing a steep, craggy path or traversing a muddy field, provided that it's fitted with 4-motion all-wheel drive. All such models consist of 4 different settings for your all-wheel drive system: on-road, off-road, individual and snow. The optional outdoor pack can also be available when you intend to provide your Tiguan Allspace a far more rugged look, and includes an off-road front bumper, off-road chrome door sill protectors and other front underbody protection. The front underbody guard is additionally available, being a cost option, and will be offering extra engine and transmission underbody protection. Capable tow car. The Tiguan Allspace might be fitted with weather-fixed or detachable tow bar, with all the maximum braked towing weight for each 0.0-liter TDI 154-motion model set at 2,400 kilograms. This increases to 2,500 kilograms should you opt for both the 0.0-liter by TDI 244-motion version. Easy to adjust, high-up driving position. Good overall control layout, with exceptions. 8.0 color touchscreen may come as standard. With a clean, quality feeling albeit fairly drab design, the Tiguan Allspace's interior is the standard Volkswagen fare, no matter which spec you opt for. High-up driving position. All drivers are able to get comfortable from the Tiguan Allspace with little or no trouble. There's an abundance of adjustment from the seat and tire, all centering around the standard high-up SUV driving position. No matter where you place the seat and wheel, However, the gearstick manual or DSG auto and handbrake are usually within easy reach. The view out of all angles is surprisingly good for just a car of the size, with smaller than average blind spots, especially throughout the rear three-quarters with the car. Reasonable control layout. Switches for functions, for example the climate control, drive modes, windscreen wipers and headlights are typically laid out where you'd expect, so it's a shame that this cruise control buttons are fiddly. Mounted within the wheel, they're much less easy make use of as other offerings in the Volkswagen Group and require some getting used to. There's also no audio mute button in view, something else entirely that other Volkswagen Group brands do not have trouble integrating. Volkswagen's active info display is available within the Tiguan Allspace and replaces regular dials, which has a 12.3-inch TFT screen efficient at displaying customizable information screens, for instance maps or audio information. The graphics are sharp, though the system lags behind Audi's virtual cockpit system for user-friendliness. Largely quality materials. Around 90% on the materials inside the Tiguan Allspace's interior feel soft to your touch and expensive, with liberal uses of high-quality plastics and brushed metal detailing. However, it is possible to some decidedly cheap-feeling materials on display, using the hard plastics throughout the central transmission tunnel probably the most prominent. Decent infotainment system. VW's Discover navigation infotainment product is fitted as standard on the Tiguan Allspace, and boasts an 8.0-inch color touchscreen with touch-sensitive buttons on either side from the display. The graphics are sharp and around date, plus the menus are very easy to understand, yet it'd still be much easier to operate using a rotary knob-style controller seen on a few Audis, BMWs and Mazdas. Pressing the proper button about the admittedly responsive touchscreen remains to be a hit-and-miss operation. Ride quality good around the whole. Low quantities of road and wind noise. Just unfortunate about those noisy diesels. The Tiguan Allspace carries a largely comfortable and well-sorted suspension setup and advantages of minimal quantities of road and wind noise. It's just a waste, then, wish the diesel engines to be had, especially the most famous 150 and 190 horsepower variants, are disappointingly noisy and unrefined. Good overall ride quality. With an extended wheelbase compared to the regular Tiguan, the Tiguan Allspace creates a slightly better ride quality with greater quantities of composure. It's lower the probability that to get unsettled over an uneven part of road and digests the majority of lumps and bumps from the tarmac well. One of the main highlights is when it relates to high-speed roads or motorways. The damping is pliant enough to comfortable yet never feels wallowy or overly soft. Complementing this are hushed numbers of road and wind noise up there together with the best in class. However, even about the relatively small 18-inch alloy wheels, we still detected some harshness towards the ride over sharp bumps or potholes. Not the end from the world, but enough to square out against an otherwise well-sorted ride. Dynamic chassis control DCC is accessible as an option and provide the driver an alternative between sport or comfort suspension modes. Each setting does produce a noticeable difference, although we're yet to utilize DCC on UK roads back-to-back contrary to the standard suspension. Noisy diesel engines. Both the 150 and 190 horsepower 2.0-liter TDI diesel engines produce lots of noise when driven out or when accelerating. Settled to a cruise with all the radio on and things do quieten down, however it's obvious that Volkswagen would need to work on insulating the sound from the diesel motors. Excellent selection of standard equipment. 3 trim levels available. All cars consist of SATNAV and 3-zone climate control. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace SUV standard equipment. From launch, the Tiguan Allspace is provided by 2 trim levels, say Nav and Cell, foregoing the lesser S and SE versions available. About the regular Tiguan Sportier line trim will likely be available to order from March 2018 with exact equipment levels for being confirmed soon. Included as standard with say Nav spec cars is 3-zone climate control, searching for tailgate, automatic headlights and windscreen wipers, auto-dimming rear-view mirror. Discover navigation infotainment system, through an 8.0-inch color touchscreen, sat-nav, Bluetooth phone connectivity, DAB radio, speed limit sign recognition, USB connectivity X2, aux, CarNet, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. Adaptive cruise control including autonomous emergency braking, driver fatigue detection, electronic parking brake, high beam assist and not on cell or reline models, lane assist and front and back parking sensors. 18-inch Patagonia alloy wheels with self-sealing tires inside event of a puncture, silver anodized roof rails, halogen clear headlights, a cooled glove box, tray tables about the back from the front seats, cloth seats, 40:20:40 split folding rear seats. On top or even in replacement from the standard equipment on say nav models, cell trim bags U. 19-inch alloy wheels, LED rear tail lights, dynamic light assist allows main beam to become left on without dazzling other drivers, LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. 12.3-inch active info display. Volkswagen's version of Audi's virtual cockpit system, keyless entry, hands-free boot opening allowing users to wave their foot beneath the rear bumper to start the boot, heated windscreen washer jets, heated front seats and also a panoramic sunroof with LED ambient lighting. Lounge cloth upholstery with art velours micro fleece, back and front watching lights X2. On top or even in replacement with the standard equipment on say nav models, Reline trim gets U. 20-inch alloy wheels, sports suspension and stainless pedals. Body-colored rear roof spoiler, black front air intake and rear diffuser, Reline styling pack including Reline design back and front bumpers with C signature gloss black front air intakes, black wheel arch extensions and body-colored side skirts with chrome trim, Reline badging on front panels. Aluminum look decorative inserts in dash and door panels, black roof lining, leather trim 3-spoke multi-function leader with aluminum inserts and Reline logo. Race cloth upholstery with microfiber, front seats with Reline logo on seat backrest, unique Reline door sill protectors. Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace SUV accessories. If the Tiguan Allspace's generous standard kit levels aren't quite enough, then there's a diverse selection of optional extras from which to choose. Highlights include the outdoor pack for drivers who'll frequently place their Tiguan Allspace about the rough stuff. This includes an off-road front bumper, off-road chrome door sill protectors and other front underbody protection. Dynamic chassis control DCC adaptive suspension. Electric front seats with 12-way adjustment and massage function. Heated outer rear seats made available as part with the winter pack and Vienna leather upholstery. Discover Navigation Pro using a larger 9.2-inch touchscreen, voice-activated control system, gesture control functions for example volume and track selection with gestures and wireless smartphone charger. Dyne Audio Excite upgraded head unit with 9 speakers, 400-watt output, subwoofer and Dolby Pro Logic multi-channel surround sound systems. Head-up display, area view with park assist providing a 360-degree view from the car when parking, plus assisted steering to guide the vehicle into a space. Trailer assist automatically controls reverse guidance of vehicle and trailer, tow bar fixed or detachable. A selection of alloy wheels and paint colors. No official Euro NCAP safety rating yet. Regular Tiguan scored the entire 5 stars. Only 2 ICE-FIX points. Being a household car, the Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace comes through an excellent choice of standard safety equipment, including multiple airbags, adaptive cruise control and autonomous emergency braking. Although the Tiguan Allspace is yet to get tested by Euro NCAP, the off-the-shelf Tiguan, which it is heavily based, scores the whole 5 stars with particular merit mounted on its protection of adult occupants within the event of an accident. Child occupant outcome was also impressive, scoring 80% in crash tests. Pedestrians are catered for, with active bonnet mounts which lift our body's panel up and away in the engine from the event of a frontal collision, reducing their risk of harm. Side scan is obtainable as an optional extra. and adds lane departure warning with blind spot monitoring and traffic sign recognition, the second only available in conjunction with all the Discover Navigation Pro infotainment system. How many ICE-fix child car seats can I fit in the Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace? Like the normal Tiguan, there are 2 ICE-fix points for the outer rear seats. Disappointingly, for the 7-seat family car there's no choice to have additional ICE-fix points within the passenger seat or third-row seats. However, fitting child seats should be a cinch on account of wide-opening rear doors affording an individual bags of space to do business with. Tons of space within the second and third row seats. Excellent cabin space for storing all-round. Boot is large, although not quite as big because Skoda Kodiaq's. Excellent passenger space, providing that you're not inside third row. There's a generous level of space in both leading and second row seats on the Tiguan Allspace. Even those around 6 foot tall will have zero trouble watching themselves when driving or in the passenger seat. In the next row of seats it's largely a similar story. Legroom is deeply impressive in spite of taller occupants relaxing in front while headroom is generous. There's space by sitting 3 adults across the next row in relative comfort, too. However, we noted that together with the panoramic sunroof constantly in place standard on cell models, those over 6 foot tall may go through a touch claustrophobic while using headlining brushing resistant to the top of their heads. Unfortunately, space inside third row of seats is acceptable when you're under 5 feet 2 inches but pretty poor otherwise, even with all the second row seats slid toward their furthest setting. Climbing into your rearmost seats is additionally a task best fitted to children. Plenty of cabin storage area. No matter where you are inside Tiguan Allspace apart on the third row of seats, maybe, there's an effective amount of space for storage within the cabin. Up front, there's large door pockets, a decent-sized glove box, central armrest and center console closet. Another clever using space is definitely behind the gear lever, where foldable cup holders may be used as needed and then in other words away again to generate another storage cubby. Out back the threshold pockets are commodious, plus there's a duo of cup holders inside central armrest. Fold-away tray tables with additional cup holders are another useful feature for families. Out of the box the 12-volt adapter, USB plug and climate control inside rear. Finally, cars fitted without worrying about panoramic sunroof take advantage of 2 additional storage spaces within the roof. Every Tiguan Allspace may come as standard wonderful round parking sensors, complemented by the visual display for the car's infotainment screen. This, paired with all the impressively small blind spots, means it's a lot simpler to maneuver than its 4.7-meter length indicates. As an optional aid, Area View displays a 360-degree exterior view with the car around the main touchscreen, allowing the driver to view where they are relative to your curb and also other objects they will often have trouble seeing. Park Assist, which controls the steering to help you parallel or bay parking, is the one other optional extra and is usually chosen jointly with Area View or even a rear view camera. Folding the next and third or merely the third row of seats down liberates lots of space for carrying dogs or making trips to try and do the rubbish tip. With all 7 seats upright there's still a usable 230 liters, even though this isn't quite as much as inside Skoda Kodiaq. Handily, there's a place within the boot floor to save the rear parcel shelf even though whole setup does look somewhat messy using the third row of seats folded down. 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split folding second row seats certainly are a plus for flexibility, as they are their ability to slide forwards and backwards. Is it very easy to convert from 7-seat mode? You need a little amount of upper body strength, however it's an easy process without any complex levers or switches to fiddle around with. To erect the next row, simply take off the parcel shelf if it's set up and pull the strap on every person's seat until they're all upright. Folding them down again is simply a case of flicking a lever within the back from the seat and simultaneously pushing the entire thing forwards.